המקום הזה, מנורה המקום הזה, מנורה המקום הזה, מנורה המקום הזה. How awesome is this place? Jacob awakes from a dream and he says, Achein yesh Elohim b'makom hazeh v'anochi lo yadati. God really is here in this place, and I just didn't know it. Shabbat Shalom to everyone. This is a strange kind of situation. And I think about Jacob, and I think about God being in this place, and I look at this empty room, and it strikes me that each and every one of us is created in the image of God. And God is here, but God is invisible. Perhaps you are here. I really don't know who is viewing this. I'm reaching out to you in your invisibility and yet in your palpable presence. We're in this time where absence and presence mix together. We have technological means to reach out to each other, but we really can't reach out through the internet, through all of these apps, and physically touch one another. Physically see the real presence of a person. Achein yesh Elohim b'makom hazeh v'anochi lo yadati. I don't know, and yet I affirm God is in this place. Melo chol haaretz kvodo, ein zeh ki im beit Elohim v'zeh sha'ar hashamayim. This is none other than God's house, and this is the gate to heaven. I hope that you'll be able to share with me some of that feeling as we continue for a few moments together on this Shabbat morning. So when we wake up, we begin. I have a Sidur Sim Shalom. I have a Chumash Eitz Chaim. And on page 61 of our prayer book, we have the very first prayer that is supposed to come out of our lips as we wake up. Before we do anything else, we say, Modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Male say modeh, female say modah. Modeh ani, I thank you. I am full of grateful. I acknowledge you. Melech chai v'kayam, before you who are the majesty that is enduring and ever alive. Shechezarta bi nishmati b'chemla. For you have returned into my body, my spirit that I can't see, and yet that's what makes me alive and conscious and able to live in my body. Rabba emunatecha. Your faithfulness is so great. You haven't given up on me. You've given me another day to live and to try to make this day a full, meaningful day. Modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shehechezarta bi nishmati b'chemla Rabba emunatecha Rabba emunatecha. This prayer is something I shared with the community, a new Modeh Ani by the journalist Bradley Burston. This is what I told myself this morning. Whatever you're doing, stop a second, take a long breath, deep. Take a breath and revel in it. Just to decide that you're alive, take a breath to give thanks. Ask, who is like unto this unknowable Almighty, who invented life itself and breath, and who created our true shields and swords, the health professionals, who are the mightiest, if the most compassionate of angels. Thank you, by whatever name, who created and sent us and sustains these heroes, these champions who run marathons every single day to just do their jobs, which are to perform miracles. Most of all, take that long breath in honor of and in gratitude to the angels themselves, the nurses, the doctors, emergency medical technicians and ambulance crews, lab techs, orderlies, and maintenance and cleaning staff, research scientists, epidemiologists, and for so many others, among them the parents suddenly at home with their children, running without training, without help, without grandparents, marathons of their own, all in an effort to save countless lives. Let's take a breath and be thankful for this community. Let's thank the Almighty for giving us the understanding of how important community is. We joined this community before a crisis, and now we appreciate and are grateful for that community so much more. Modeh Ani, if only you could hear me, how grateful I am for your faithfulness. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Every morning, after we scrub our hands clean and our bodies clean, we do another kind of washing. It's a very different kind of washing. This is a washing that doesn't take away anything from our body. It doesn't scrub away the germs, but instead it pours upon us holiness and purity. And for this act of blessing, for this act of washing, we make a blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim. Almighty, ever-present one, you make us holy with your commandments, and you have commanded us al netilat yadayim, to take up our hands, to take responsibility for our hands, to sanctify our hands, to do what we can do today in this world that needs our hands to do the good things, the blessed things, the positive things that this world so needs. Al natilat yadayim. If you have a talit, perhaps you've donned it already, perhaps you've wrapped yourself in it. And when we put on our talit, we have a special prayer. It's found in our Siddur on the next page. We say, how precious is your loving kindness, O God. As we put on this talit, we take shelter under your wings. We feast on the abundance found in your house. You give us drink from the river of your delight. For with you is the fountain of light. By your light do we see light. Grant your loving kindness to those who love you, and your righteousness to the upright in heart. Manorah makom hazeh. How awesome this place is. How awesome and how good. When we come into a sanctuary, virtually or physically, we can appreciate the gift that it is. We sing, Ma tovu alecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu alecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael. Vani berov chasdecha avo ve'etecha eshtacha ve'el eichal kodshecha ve'yiratecha. How wonderful are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. I, through your great loving kindness, will enter your house, and I will bow down to your holy sanctuary with reverence for you, Eternal One. I love your house, the place where your glory dwells. I will bow, bend my knee, and offer blessings before the eternally present One, my Creator. As for you, Eternal One, I ask, may my prayer come before you at the right moment. May this moment be a moment of love and grace. And out of your great mercy, O God, answer me, answer all of us with your true salvation. We mentioned love so many times. Today is a day of love, day of Shabbat. Hayom Yom Shabbat Kodesh, Shebo Hayu Halviyim Omrim Beveit HaMikdash. This is the holy day of Shabbat, a day that we look forward to the entire week, and we count toward that week. The first day toward Shabbat, the second day toward Shabbat, and now here we are. And this is the psalm that the Levites would sing, the psalm of Shabbat. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat. Tov lehodot, lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimecha elyon. This is page 72 in our Sim Shalom. Tov lehodot, lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimecha elyon, lehagid baboker chasdecha ve'emunatcha baleilot, lehagid baboker chasdecha ve'emunatcha baleilot. It is good to give thanks to the Almighty, the eternally present one, and to sing to God's exalted name, and to tell in the morning how much we appreciate your great love, and in the evening your steadfast faithfulness in us. So this is a morning of love. And just as we appreciate God's love, we are called upon to reciprocate, to give back love. Shema is on page 112 in our Siddur. The name for God, Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, has the numerical value, because each Hebrew letter is also a number. It has the numerical value of 26. The word for love, ahava, has the numerical value of 13, of only half that value. But love is reciprocated by love. Love is returned with love. And so when love really lives between two loving partners, human or divine, then together that love equals God's presence. We recite the Shema traditionally by putting our hand over our eyes, and I urge you to try to do that. If you're with your family, then maybe you can try, either if you have a talit, to wrap everybody together in that talit. When we put our hand over our eyes, we're using our sense of touch, a sense that we are now so challenged about in trying to reach out to others. So let's treasure this moment when we can feel that sense of touch, either ourselves or by helping someone else with putting our hand over their eyes and their hand over our eyes. And we say, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam le'od al yadecha ve'hayu letotafot bein einecha וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. These words of love, we're meant to place them upon our hearts and place them upon the doorposts of our homes. V'shivtecha b'veitecha and to speak them out, to speak them from the heart as we sit in our houses. And the word b'shivtecha, that's the same word as Shabbat, to sit, to rest, to dwell, or when we're able to go out on the road. That ability, of course, is so circumscribed today. But b'shivtecha b'veitecha, as we have a Shabbat in our home today and as it spreads out throughout the rest of the week, we take these words, we place them within our hearts, and then we say them out loud, the words of love. I'd like to turn now to our Torah reading for this Shabbat. And of course, we're not able to congregate together and hear the full Torah reading. But in the official schedule of reading the Torah from week to week, we have now come to the very end of the book of Exodus. And so appropriately, the topic is about building a house for God, building a house of meeting, a tent of meeting, Ohel Moed, where God and Israel can come together. The entire people of Israel worked so hard, just as we are working so hard to keep our community together, to build that community. In the Torah, they're talking about the physical building, the boards, the gold, the silver, the fabrics that went into making the tabernacle, the Mishkan, the dwelling place. And our maftir, the very concluding part of the traditional reading for Vayakel and Pekudei, although this Shabbat is also Shabbat HaChodesh, I'll get to that soon. The ending verses of this last Torah portion are also the ending verses of this book. And they read as follows. And Moses set up the enclosure around the tabernacle and the altar and put up the screen for the gate of the enclosure. And Moses finished the work. Then the cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the presence of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Moses could not enter the tent of meeting because the cloud had settled upon it, and the presence of the Lord filled the tabernacle. When the cloud lifted from the tabernacle, the Israelites would set out on their various journeys. But if the cloud did not lift, they would not set out until such time as it did lift. For over the tabernacle a cloud of the Lord rested by day, and fire would appear in it by night, in the view of all the house of Israel throughout their journeys. So this Torah reading for this Shabbat tells us about a sanctuary created, built by the entire community, filled with God's presence. And yet, paradoxically, it is a sanctuary that we can't go into. Neither Moses nor any of the Israelites could enter into that sanctuary that they had made, that they had suffused with God's presence. God's presence was so abundant that there was no room for anyone physically to enter. And yet, the presence of God was palpable. And when the cloud would lift, then we would be able to go on. We would be able to keep on going, to travel on our journey. We are precluded from entering this house, not because of God's abundant presence, but because of the challenge that we face. But we have to fill this building, and we have to fill our hearts, and we have to fill our hands, and we have to fill our days with all of the sacred presence of God that will fight against the dangers and the challenges that are upon us. The reading goes, Vayechas ha'anan et ohel moed, uchvod Adonai malei et hamishkan, velo yachol Moshe lavo el ohel moed, ki shachain alav ha'anan, uchvod Adonai malei et hamishkan, uve'alot ha'anan me'al hamishkan, yis'u v'nei Yisrael bechol mas'ehem, v'im lo ye'aleh ha'anan v'lo yisu ad yom he'aloto, ki anan Adonai al hamishkan yomam, ve'esh tiye layla bo, li'enei chol beit Yisrael bechol mas'ehem. And we all say together, Chazak, Chazak, v'nitchazek. Each and every one of us has to be strong. Chazak, Chazak. And then v'nitchazek. And then let us strengthen each other. I mentioned that today has another Torah reading because this is called Parashat HaChodesh. This is the time that we read about the beginning of the month of Nisan. That Torah portion, that selection from the Torah, tells us that God spoke to Moses and told Moses to relay this information to the entire people of Israel, who were not out in the wilderness. They were not in God's house. They were in their own homes, and they were under the oppression, the slavery, the bondage of Egypt. And God said, HaChodesh hazeh lachem rosh chodashim. HaChodesh hazeh lachem. This month now belongs to you. A slave owns nothing. And certainly a slave does not own their own time. They are at the beck and call of their master, and that's not just a physical oppression, it's a spiritual oppression. Not to be able to own one's own time. We can feel a little bit of that struggle, of that pressure now in our present situation. On the one hand, we have all the time in the world. On the other hand, our time is not our own. We have obligations to be safe, to watch out for ourselves, to watch out for our loved ones, Maybe we're working from home, or maybe we have to go out of our homes to do very necessary work. Maybe our employers are telling us that we have to be this place or that place. We are, in many ways, enslaved, and yet we are free. Every morning in the brachot that we recite, the blessings that we recite when we wake up, we say, God, you made me a free creature. You made me a person who, at least in their thoughts, in their consciousness, and in many, many, many of the ways that we behave, we are free. We are free to choose. We can decide what we can do, what we want to do, and how to do it. We can take our hands and use them in a devoted way. And what God gave to the children of Israel at that moment of the first dawning of their liberation was God gave them the consciousness that they own their own time. HaChodesh hazeh lachem. This new month is now yours. Rishon hu lachem l'chodshei hashana. And this moment of taking hold of your own time, let it be marked forever as the beginning of your year, of all of the months of the year. So even though Rosh Hashanah will happen in September, God willing, and that's the new year of the creation of the world, this coming month, Nisan, which will begin, as we look forward to it, on Thursday of this coming week, this new month of Nisan is our new year, the new year of the Jewish people. While we were still under the official yoke of Egypt, we were liberated in taking hold of our own time, in saying we will use this time as we see fit. And the children of Israel filled that time, in that time of chaos and turmoil in Egypt, by taking a Paschal lamb and beginning to prepare for the Passover holiday. The first holiday that the children of Israel ever had as a people. They began preparing for that on Rosh Chodesh, on the beginning of the new month of Nisan, which we look forward to this coming week on Thursday. Traditionally, when we have a month that is about to come to us, we recite a special prayer. It's called Birkat HaChodesh. And in it we bless the month and we ask God to bless the month and to renew it for us. And I'll recite it first in the Hebrew and then in the English translation. But listen to the repeating refrain. What we are asking for always, again and again and again, is that this new month be renewed for Chayim, for life. Yehi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu שתחדש עלינו את החודש הזה לטובה ולברכה. תיתן לנו חיים ארוכים, חיים של שלום, חיים של טובה, חיים של ברכה, חיים של פרנסה, חיים של חילוץ עצמות, חיים שיש בהם יראת שמיים ויראת חטא, חיים שאין בהם בושה וכלימה, חיים בכבוד חיים, שתהי בנו אהבת תורה ויראת שמיים. חיים, שימלא אדוני משאלות ליבנו לטובה. Amen. Selam. May it be your will, our eternal God Almighty, and Almighty God of our ancestors, that you may renew for us this month for goodness and for blessing, and that you grant us a life enduring, a life of peace, a life of goodness, life of blessing, life of sustenance, life of physical health and vitality, life that includes reverence for heaven and fear of sin, life that does not include shame and humiliation, a life of richness and dignity, a life in which we have within us love of Torah and reverence for heaven, a life in which the Eternal will fulfill the yearnings of our hearts for goodness, a life in which we will discover within our hearts yearnings for goodness. Amen, Selah. Amen, Amen, Amen. Let's take just a moment to sit in silence, each of us in our own way, and yet each of us conscious that our silence is part of a network of silence that we share together. Let's all lift up our silence to heaven in silent prayer on behalf of each other. When we have a minyan, we conclude our service with one final Kaddish. We recite the Kaddish many times during a service when the community is physically present. And the last one we reserve for the mourners to recite on behalf of their loved ones. The Kaddish is a prayer of the community where one person or a few people lead the community in praising God's name. During this time when we do not have a minyan, we offer this prayer. El Elohei Aruchot, Asher bi'adcha nafshot ha'chayim v'hametim, Pnei hayom b'chesed u'v'rachamim, El tfilati, Zecher yakiri, Zecher yakirati. Zechor na et kol hachesed v'hatov she'asta be'olam ha'chayim. Ten la menucha nechona tachat kanfei hashchina, utzror betzror ha'chayim et nishmata. Galui v'yadua lefanecha, galui v'yadua lefanayich, rachmanata divishmaya, sheretzoni lekadesh et shimcha barabim, v'lekro latzibur bamilim, yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba, v'yalma divrach hirutei, v'yamnich malchutei, וחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. אבל זה נמנע ממני כעת עקב מצבנו הקשה. אנא, קבלי את תפילתי וכוונתי ברצון, ולמען שמך הגדול שלחי רפואה וישועה לעולם. God of all spirits, in whose hands are the souls of the living and the dead, turn today in love and compassion to my prayer in memory of my beloved. Please remember all the loving kindness and the good that they did in the land of the living. Grant them perfect rest under the sheltering wings of your presence, and bind their souls in the bond of life. It is clear to you, compassionate Mother in heaven, that it is my wish to declare your holiness within the community and to recite the Kaddish. But this has been impossible for me in light of our difficult circumstances. So please, accept my prayer and my intention, and for the sake of your great name, send healing and salvation to the world. Psalm 23 can be found in the Sidur Sim Shalom on page 197. Mizmor leDavid, Adonai roi lo echsar, Binot esher yarbi etzeini, Al mei menuchot yenaleini. Nafshi yeshover, Nafshi yeshover, Yanecheini b'maglei tzedek leman shemo. Gam ki elech b'geitz alemavet lo irara ki ata imadi shivtecha umishantecha shivtecha umishantecha Heima yenachmoni taroch lefanai shulechan taroch lefanai shulechan taroch lefanai shulechan neged tzorerai Ishanta Hashemen Roshi Ishanta Hashemen Roshi Ishanta Hashemen Roshi Kosirevaya Vishavti beveit Adonai. Vishavti beveit Adonai. Leorech Yamim. The Psalm of David. The Eternal is my shepherd, I shall not want. God gives me repose in green meadows and guides me over calm waters. God will revive my spirit and direct me on the right path, for that is God's way. Though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are with me. Your staff and your rod comfort me. You prepare a banquet for me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil and my cup overflows. Only goodness and kindness shall be my portion all the days of my life as I dwell in the house of the Eternal forever and ever. Let's conclude with the prayer for healing that we recite always in our community. I'll sing the first stanza and then let's pause for a moment, silently thinking of all those who need these prayers. We always add names of those we know, and now we also want to keep in our hearts and in our prayers so many people all over the world. Kol Yoshvei Tevel, who need, who deserve healing and recuperation. Mi shebeirach avoteinu mikor habracha leimoteinu. Bless the souls of those who need your hand of healing, of blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebeirach imoteinu mikor habracha lavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shleima, renewal of body, renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. We pray that the Ribbono Shel Olam will grant refuah shleima, complete and speedy recovery, to all those who are suffering. And may God bless their caregivers with good health and with hearts of strength and wisdom and love and courage to be able to do everything necessary, everything needed, everything that can be done. Let us all say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom.